Hi everyone, this is Aaron for Zollotech, and we're going to take a look at what's on my iPhone. A lot of you have requested that I do one of these videos and show you what's on my iPhone. I was kind of surprised by that, but a lot of people want to know what's actually on my iPhone. So let me go ahead and turn it on, and I have some notifications. Let's clear these off. And let me ask you guys a question quick. I redesigned the Zollotech logo. This is actually the third iteration of the logo. Just wondered what you guys thought, if you'd comment below on that. And do you like it? Don't you like it? These are actually transparent, and I tried to make it a little more modern. So let me go ahead and unlock here. And here's my home screen. Now, my thought on the home screen is I've had an iPhone since the original one. So I kind of like the traditional layout, but I like to add my own apps here as well. So we kind of have the normal messaging layout, calendar, maps, weather, YouTube, notes. So I use these things fairly often. I set alarms and things like that. And then I have the Bible. Some of you have commented on that. I use it, so it's there. I have iBooks. You know, I really don't use that too much. I just haven't taken it off the screen. I don't know why. But let's go into the productivity folder I have here. And these are task management apps. I was kind of figuring out which one I liked best. And maybe you guys have some suggestions for other ones as well. There's SpringPad and Wunderlist. SpringPad does a good job of syncing things online, where Wunderlist syncs well between devices. They both do that. But I just kind of like the design of Wunderlist, or the design of the others, back and forth. So they're pretty good either way. Let's go ahead and, you can see the obvious things here: Twitter, Facebook. I use those daily. And then under remotes, I have the TiVo remote and the remote for my Apple TV. So I do have a TiVo. I use it. And I have the Apple TV, and I use that, and those are the remotes for either one of those I can control from my phone, which are really nice. The TiVo app's pretty nice. Connects to the TV, connects to the DVR, and we can go to the guide and everything here, and it just shows you the guide. And you can switch between programs. Down here, under Lifestyle, I just kind of grouped everything that I use regularly, or don't really use regularly, but are kind of the main Apple things, into one folder. So I don't really use reminders too much. It's a neat application, but I really don't need it. Here we have phone. I switched the Safari and Mail layout. It just works better for me that way. I've done that since the original for whatever reason. Then we have music. I still wish they would have kept the iPod icon as opposed to the separate video and music icon like they do on an iPod, but I'm sure somebody made a decision along the line somewhere and did that. Let's go to my other screen. I only have two screens. I don't really like to have too many, and I have everything fairly organized. So these are the new things I've downloaded or purchased, and I tend to leave those in their own icon when I take a look at them, and then if I'm going to use them regularly, I'll keep them out, or maybe I'll stash them away in a folder. So news, I'm big on news as far as tech news goes. I don't really pay too much attention to world news other than major events going on. I pay more attention to the tech world news. So I use Pulse Newsreader for that. Now again, if you have any suggestions, please feel free to tell me what you might think is better than Pulse Newsreader. What I do in Pulse is grab feeds from all sorts of things. So I have 9 to 5 Mac, Mac Rumors, the unofficial Apple weblog, The Loop, Boy Genius Report, Ars Technica, Engadget, Autoblog, and Joystick, and occasionally I'll add some others. So I'm big on tech news. I'm a huge car nut, and I like video games as well, as some of you have seen in other posts or videos I've done where I talk about my gamer tag. I have my own app here. And the reason for that, that's my original logo, by the way. I just haven't changed that yet, thanks to Dave that actually made this application for me. So this is my app, and it basically just is a feed reader from my site. So it's a quick way to get to that, and has everything, and you can watch all the videos here. But I have it there to test videos and things I need to. So I have Autoblog. Basically everything that's in Pulse is out here as well, except for the Weather Channel, which is pretty straightforward. So that's not really exciting stuff, but things I use daily. Then we move on to things like eBay and PayPal. I use eBay. I look for new phones or solid-state drives. I'm kind of in the market for that right now, so if any of you guys have suggestions on those, thinking about OWC or possibly an OCZ Vertex drive. I'm not really sure, but I'm thinking about a 256 gig solid state drive. If you guys have any thoughts on that, I'd appreciate it. So another thing I use regularly, and we'll get to the games. Some of you just want to know the other types of apps I use. So under finance, I have Square, so I can take credit cards if I need to do that. I haven't really done that yet, but I can do it. And if you have any need for that, check them out, because it's free. You might as well do it. And they send you the little dongle that plugs into the top with the credit card swiper, so if you want to do that. I also use Moneywell, and I'm not going to open the app because it's got my personal finances in it, but I use Moneywell, and what it does is it syncs via Dropbox back to my Mac. So what happens is I'll put in, say I stop and get some coffee, I'll throw in Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks or wherever I'm at, throw in, it's $2 or whatever it is, and then I sync it. When I get home on my Mac, time to do the bills, it's there. And it's a really nice app. I've been using it for a very long time, and I like it a lot. Let's go into games. Big on games. I've purchased way more games than this, and I don't have all the apps I've purchased on here. I've just grown out of some of them. And so we have Angry Birds. I don't really play it that much. Scribblenauts. Kids love that, and I think it's a cool game, so I have it on here. Rayman 2. Haven't played it a whole lot. It's on there. Battlefield Bad Company 2. Once in a while I'll play that. Jetpack Joyride, great game, quick game to get into and out of, and it's just really good to waste some time quickly with. Street Fighter 4, Backstab, I bought this and I've hardly used it, so I'll probably have to try that some more. Oregon Trail, traditional classic game, great game. Puzzle Agent, my kids love it. I have it on here and I really need to play it, I just haven't. Bike Baron, Brothers in Arms 2, it's the free plus version, whatever that means. I had the original, haven't really played that, I put it on there. And Dragon Vale, I started messing with today. And it's okay, it's alright. I really don't play a whole lot of games on here. I have played some tower defense games quite a bit. Let's go into utilities. A lot of these are going to be default things, with the exception of iMovie and Amazon. AIM on here I have. I also have Speed Test and Evernote. I don't really use Evernote that much, but I really always see it and think I should be using it, and for some reason I'm just not using it. And I have these here. I use Amazon fairly often. iMovie's here just in case I want to make a movie. Probably not going to happen too often. Under Newsstand, my wife grabbed a couple of these. Family Fun. What is this? Health Fitness, I guess. Good Housekeeping. I grabbed How It Works and .net. Thought I'd take a look at those, the free editions. They're synced between iPhones, is why I say she grabbed that. My wife's got an iPhone 4. This is a 4S, and she downloaded them. And because we're on the same iCloud account, it just synced them. Under Entertainment, Apple put out iTunes trailers, so I have that. I have Netflix and GarageBand. I use Netflix probably more than anything else as far as video watching goes. That and YouTube. I just like to watch a movie occasionally, but I find I use Netflix more on the iPad side than on the iPhone. And then we have GarageBand. Under Photography, I have Flickr, Instagram, and Wallpapers HD. It's not really photography per se, but it's where I get some of my wallpapers. A lot of you ask, where do I get the wallpapers, things like that. Well, this wallpaper in the background with the apple is from Photography, or from Wallpapers HD under my folder here. So that's a free app. Most apps I have are free except for the games, so, and Moneywell. And check them out. They're pretty good, those Wallpaper HD. Under Productivity, I have Pages, Keynote, Keynote Remote, and Box.net. Box.net's sort of like Dropbox, and for a while they still might, but we're offering 50 gigs of online storage, so I grabbed that pretty quickly when the 4S came out. And it's nice just to have some place to put files if I need to. Keynote Remote I use for presentations I give in a class I teach. I've used it a few times. We also have Keynote and Pages, the actual versions, and they're actually really great versions if you're going to use Keynote and make a presentation. They're really good. And what I have here is audio. I have Audible. I listen to audiobooks. In fact, I'm listening to the Steve Jobs book. Just about done. Pretty good book. A lot of crying, strangely enough, from a lot of different executives. A lot more than I'd think, but that's really what I'm listening to right now. I'm pretty well through that. I have 2 hours and 32 minutes left on the audiobook out of about 24 hours of book, so it's a long book. I also have Podcaster. Podcaster was the original podcast app. It's a great app, and it goes and downloads podcasts for you. Under navigation, I'm actually missing one. I actually have Navigon I bought for the East region. Navigon East is I'm on the East Coast of the United States, and they had a deal on it. It was $15, and it's great because it has maps while you're not online. So if you have a poor cell signal and you're in the middle of nowhere, you can still use it because it's got all the maps. It's over a gig download, and I just didn't bother to install it yet since getting the 4S. I'm not sure how you say this, but Waze or Waze or however you say that, probably Waze, now that I think of it. That's a great free navigation app. I would suggest checking it out if you don't have one. And GPS Drive is probably my favorite navigation app, but it does cost about, and thanks for subscribing, and it does cost about $3 a month if you want voice directions. If you don't want voice directions, it's free. So it's kind of how they get you there, but it's well worth it. It's gotten me out of a few jams, actually, and helped me find things nearby when I was in areas I don't know. So we have cards. Now, I tried out cards from Apple and tried to order a card. It wasn't working right, and I really haven't been able to figure that one out. I'm going to try it again. I was trying to send a card to my wife. It wouldn't let me check out properly, and it was a big pain in the neck. So I'll try it again. But let's check under Utilities. Utilities, I have B&H Photo. It's where I buy a lot of things photo related. I've bought a few things from them. Check them out, bhphotovideo.com, I think it is. They're really great, and it's hard for me not to spend money there. We have Red Laser. Red Laser is kind of what Windows Phone 7 does on its own. It will scan barcodes and tell you where the cheapest price is local to you. Discover Music is great. Does just that. Helps you discover music based on the bands you like. Redbox, I use that, so it's there. Discover Apps, same map maker. You can tell the icon's very similar. And then Newegg. Again, it's tough for me not to buy from there. Probably going to buy a solid-state drive, either from them or OWC. I'm still trying to make up my mind. So again, if you have any input on that, I'd appreciate it. I just started using OneNote, and the reason is, as I've used it for a while, but it's Microsoft's OneNote, and the reason I started using it is so in case I'm using a Windows Phone 7 device, they'll sync between the two. So these are kind of old notes. So it was a FedEx shipment for HTC, winners for the iPhone 4 giveaway I did of some sort, I don't remember. I think they were best skins ever or something like that. So I use that just so they're synced between two devices, makes it easier. And my most recent purchase is Minecraft. Now, I haven't really been into Minecraft too much. I started messing around with it and don't really do very well at it, but I started messing around with it. I thought maybe I could build the Zollotech logo out of it. Just a thought. It'd be cool if I could do it, but maybe I'll play around with that and see what I can do. And then I have Battle Nations. You know, I loaded it, and that was about it. I didn't even start it. So I put it on there. I saw it was free. I check apps all the time. So the thing I'm in the most, though, is I'm in the three things, really. Email, Twitter, and Facebook. I'm on those the most out of anything. Bible falls in there somewhere, and occasionally internet browsing for like Woot and things like that. So if you guys have any suggestions or comments regarding that, positive comments, I tend to delete comments that are just nasty. So I don't know if any of you have noticed that, but I'll leave comments that are constructive, and I don't mind that someone slams me for what I have, but just flat out nasty, I get rid of those. There's just no point in having them there. So there's no reason to be nasty for no reason or racist or whatever. So I just delete those. But anything other than that, if you have any comments, constructive comments, suggestions for different apps you think maybe I'm using but should maybe check something else out, please feel free to comment. I'd be really interested to hear what you have to say about those. Again, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for your video suggestions. Be sure to make more suggestions. I can definitely do more videos. I had a suggestion the other day to do more in depth on Windows Phone 7. I definitely plan to do that. I had a hard drive crash, and unfortunately I lost that video. I'm still trying to recover some of it. So I went to back it up, plugged in my backup drive. I was using Time Machine. Went to plug in the backup drive, move some videos around, and it actually died then. So that really stinks. So I'll be getting more of those videos out, but that's why it's been a little bit slower. You know, I had to remake some of my logos. All that stuff was newer that I've been doing with lower thirds and things. So I had to remake a lot of that, and it was a pain in the neck, but it is what it is. So if you have any suggestions, though, for apps or anything like that, or videos, I'd really appreciate it. I always like to hear from you. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.